When a question is unclear, it's important to rephrase it to ensure a clear and accurate understanding. This is a crucial skill in various settings, whether it's in a professional environment, an educational setting, or even in everyday conversations. The ability to articulate your questions clearly directly impacts the quality of the answers you receive. A vague or ambiguous question can lead to irrelevant or incomplete responses, wasting time and potentially causing misunderstandings. To effectively rephrase a question, several strategies can be employed. Firstly, identify the core information you are seeking. What is the specific knowledge or insight you are trying to gain? Breaking down your initial question into smaller, more manageable components can help you pinpoint the exact area of uncertainty. Secondly, consider the audience you are addressing. Adapt your language and terminology to match their level of understanding. Avoid using jargon or technical terms that they may not be familiar with. Instead, opt for simpler, more accessible language that everyone can comprehend. Thirdly, provide context to your question. Explain the background information or the situation that prompted you to ask the question. This will help the person you are asking to better understand the relevance and importance of your inquiry. Fourthly, be specific about the type of answer you are seeking. Are you looking for a yes or no answer, a detailed explanation, or a step-by-step guide? By clearly stating your expectations, you can increase the likelihood of receiving a response that meets your needs. Fifthly, use precise and unambiguous language. Avoid using words or phrases that have multiple meanings or that could be interpreted in different ways. Choose your words carefully to convey your intended meaning with clarity and accuracy. Sixthly, consider using examples to illustrate your point. If you are asking about a particular concept or process, providing a concrete example can help the person you are asking to better understand what you are looking for. Seventhly, break down complex questions into smaller, more manageable parts. If your question is multifaceted or involves several different aspects, it may be helpful to divide it into separate sub-questions. This will make it easier for the person you are asking to address each aspect individually. Eighthly, use visual aids to support your question. If appropriate, consider using diagrams, charts, or other visual representations to help illustrate your point. Visual aids can be particularly helpful when dealing with complex or abstract concepts. Ninthly, actively listen to the response you receive. Pay close attention to the person's answer and ask clarifying questions if needed. This will help you ensure that you fully understand their response and that any remaining uncertainties are addressed. Tenthly, be patient and persistent. Rephrasing a question may require multiple attempts, especially if the topic is complex or unfamiliar. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification or to try a different approach if your initial attempt is unsuccessful. Let's consider some examples of how to rephrase unclear questions. For instance, instead of asking "what's the deal with this?", which is highly ambiguous, you could rephrase it as "can you explain the purpose and functionality of this device?" Similarly, instead of asking "how does this work?", which is quite broad, you could ask "can you describe the step-by-step process of how this system operates?" Another example would be, instead of asking "is this good?", you could ask "what are the specific advantages and disadvantages of this approach compared to alternatives?" Remember, the goal is to transform a vague, open-ended question into a clear, focused inquiry that elicits a specific and informative response. Effective communication is a two-way street. By taking the time to rephrase your questions clearly, you not only improve your chances of receiving a helpful answer, but you also demonstrate respect for the person you are asking and contribute to a more productive and meaningful exchange of information. In addition to the previously mentioned strategies, another useful technique for rephrasing questions is to use the 5 whys method. This method involves repeatedly asking why to drill down to the root cause of a problem or issue. By asking why multiple times, you can uncover underlying assumptions and identify the specific areas that need clarification. For example, let's say someone asks why is the project behind schedule. Instead of simply accepting the initial answer, you could continue asking why to explore the reasons behind the delay. For instance, why is the project behind schedule? Answer: because we are waiting for materials. Why are you waiting for materials? Answer: because the supplier is delayed. Why is the supplier delayed? Answer: because of a shortage of raw materials. Why is there a shortage of raw materials? Answer: because of supply chain disruptions. Why are there supply chain disruptions? Answer: because of unforeseen global events. By repeatedly asking why, you have uncovered the root cause of the delay, which is unforeseen global events causing supply chain disruptions. This deeper understanding allows you to rephrase your question more effectively and to address the underlying issue. Another important aspect of rephrasing questions is to consider the context in which the question is being asked. The same question can have different meanings depending on the situation. For example, the question "What is the current status?" can have different interpretations depending on whether it is being asked in a project management meeting, a customer service interaction, or a medical consultation. In a project management meeting, "What is the current status?" might refer to the progress of a specific task or deliverable. In a customer service interaction, it might refer to the status of an order or a service request. In a medical consultation, it might refer to the patient's current health condition. To avoid confusion, it is important to provide context when asking a question. Explain the situation or the background information that is relevant to the question. This will help the person you are asking to understand the intent of your question and to provide a more accurate and relevant response. Furthermore, when rephrasing questions, it is important to be mindful of your tone and body language. A question that is phrased politely and respectfully is more likely to elicit a positive response than a question that is phrased aggressively or condescendingly. Similarly, maintaining eye contact, nodding your head, and using other positive body language cues can help to create a more open and receptive environment for communication. In addition to these strategies, it is also helpful to be aware of common types of unclear questions. One common type of unclear question is the leading question. A leading question is a question that prompts or encourages a specific answer. For example, "Don't you think this is a good idea?" is a leading question because it suggests that the person being asked should agree with the speaker. Leading questions can be problematic because they can bias the response and prevent the person being asked from expressing their true opinion. Another common type of unclear question is the loaded question. A loaded question is a question that contains an assumption or a presupposition. For example, "Have you stopped cheating on your taxes?" is a loaded question because it assumes that the person being asked has cheated on their taxes in the past. Loaded questions can be unfair and can put the person being asked in a defensive position. To avoid asking unclear questions, it is important to be aware of these common pitfalls and to make a conscious effort to avoid them. Instead of asking leading or loaded questions, focus on asking open-ended questions that allow the person being asked to express their own thoughts and feelings. Finally, remember that rephrasing questions is an iterative process. It may take several attempts to arrive at a question that is clear, concise, and effective. Don't be afraid to experiment with different phrasing and to ask for feedback from others. With practice and patience, you can develop the skill of rephrasing questions to improve communication and understanding in all aspects of your life. Furthermore, actively seek feedback on your questioning techniques from trusted colleagues or mentors. They can offer valuable insights into how you can improve your clarity and precision when formulating inquiries. Pay attention to the responses you receive and identify any patterns or recurring issues that may indicate areas where you need to focus your efforts. Continuously refine your questioning strategies based on the feedback you receive and the experiences you encounter. This iterative process will help you to develop a more nuanced and effective approach to communication. Remember that clear communication is a cornerstone of success in any endeavor. By mastering the art of rephrasing questions, you can unlock new levels of understanding, build stronger relationships, and achieve your goals more effectively. This skill is invaluable in various contexts, from personal interactions to professional collaborations. Embrace the challenge of rephrasing questions as an opportunity for growth and improvement. With dedication and practice, you can transform your questioning techniques and become a more effective communicator.